In the divisive debates over U.S. immigration policy, Sister Norma Pimentel says the human dimension is all too often overshadowed or even ignored.
And so I don't help an immigrant because they're immigrants. I help them because they're people. They're beautiful people that we must be able to respect and give them back their dignity.
As executive director of Catholic Charities of the Rio Grande Valley in Texas, Pimentel oversees several programs to help suffering families in the community. But she's best known for her compassionate work and vigorous advocacy on behalf of migrants and refugees seeking asylum in the U.S. She sees it as a religious obligation, noting that in the Bible, Jesus told his followers when they welcome strangers, they're welcoming him.
I see our role as church towards the immigrants as a welcoming community that will embrace and welcome immigrants that come from so far away in search of safety and protection, that through our efforts, we're actually saying to them that you're important to God. And we're here to show you that you matter.
Near the bus station in downtown McAllen, Catholic Charities operates the Humanitarian Respite Center for newly arrived migrants. The center provides clothing and other basic necessities, as well as legal and logistical assistance. It's a place to rest and perhaps get a shower.
Some of these families, they walk for days and weeks and without an opportunity to clean up. I've heard moms or families walking to a shower and water just running through. You could hear them cry of the fact that they, for the very first time, all of that filth just comes out of their bodies. It cleans them also of their pain and struggles that they've been through, through their journeys.
More than 100,000 migrants have come through this center since it opened in 2014. Many have been released from federal custody after officially requesting asylum. They're allowed to stay in the U.S. if they have family members or others to sponsor them while they await immigration court hearings. Pimentel tries to maintain a good working relationship with local law enforcement authorities.
Border Patrol calls me and says, "Sister, I have a family that I want to take to your center." And yes, of course, we take them, we welcome them, we give them a space where they're safe and where they can rest and contact their families and move on safely beyond this point.
The work is deeply personal for Pimentel, who is the daughter of Mexican immigrants. She was born in Brownsville, but says she grew up on both sides of the border.
I am a product of the American dream of an immigrant. My father, Joaquin Pimentel. Days before I was to be born, he came to this country with great hopes to live the American dream.
She fulfilled part of that dream when she earned a bachelor's degree in fine arts. She says at that point, religious life was not part of her long-term plan.
When I was growing up, my parents introduced me to a God that was going to punish me, you know? That's the God that I knew. When I was growing up, I was scared of God, totally.
She says that changed dramatically one day shortly after college graduation, when she was hoping to go out for dinner with friends.
And this friend of mine, I said, "What are you doing tonight?" And she said, "I'm going to a prayer group." And I said, "What are you doing after the prayer group?" and she said, "We're going to Pizza Hut." Perfect, come pick me up. And so that's where God got me. I had no choice but going to the prayer group.
They prayed over me, and I just wanted nothing other than to know more about God. I was so drawn to God, to read the Bible, to pray, to sing, to just do things of God, so much so that I entered religious life.
Pimentel became a religious sister with the Missionaries of Jesus in 1978, and she still lives in their San Juan, Texas convent.
What I do is not about Norma, it's about God letting me know what he wants me to do. I believe it's God that wants to say a message to somebody, and I simply am the hands, the voice, and the feet of God.
In addition to her humanitarian efforts, Pimentel has become a high-profile advocate on policy issues, such as the human trafficking of migrants, forced family separations, and the detention of children.
We that have the opportunity that have the skills and the knowledge and the ability to speak up must do so. We must be that voice for them and say, somebody's hurting, and it is all our responsibility to do something about it.
Pimentel has gained international acclaim for her work, such as this prestigious medal from Notre Dame University. She's also been recognized by Pope Francis.
Recently praising you as an exemplar for all American women religious, Pope Francis, unable to restrain his affection, blurted, "Is it appropriate for a pope to say this? I love you very much."
Pimentel met the Pope in 2015 during his visit to the U.S. She gave him a painting that she had made. She loves to paint as she has time and often donates her paintings to help raise money for charitable organizations. She considers painting a spiritual exercise.
I cannot paint if I'm stressful. I have to be calm because one of the things that I do is pray when I paint.
Pimentel acknowledges that her work with migrants can indeed be stressful and at times heartbreaking.
When I hear what happens in tragedies like so many people dying, because of human trafficking and the way the neglect of human life, it just tears my heart to say, why can't we be better than this? Why don't we have laws that respect life? Why can't we all come together and do something about and make the right things right?
She may get discouraged, but she says she has never gotten to the point of giving up.
I think when things get difficult, the more I feel energized and fired up to say, come on, Norma, we gotta work harder,
She does work hard and often finds herself pulled in many different directions over the course of a day.
My days are very full with doing so many things, but at the end, I feel that I've accomplished something good. And so I'm tired, but as our Holy Father says, make sure you go to bed tired, doing good. And I make sure I do that.
She says she's also energized by the commitment and compassion of so many young volunteers she believes God is preparing to carry on her work.
Just the way He called me and has me here to do what I'm doing today, He's calling other generations and other kids and other people to do the same. And that is very hopeful for me.
Pimentel says she's still surprised when people call her an inspiration. But she adds, if she is one, then others can be as well.
I'm just one like anybody else, and He just singled me out, and I say thank you, God, because honestly, it's a gift that He gave me to make a difference in the life of so many people. It's so beautiful to care and love people, and so I'm so privileged that I can do that.
I'm Kim Lawton in McAllen, Texas.